Well, it was a contentious, often personal, 3-hour battle. Donald Trump dominating the primetime GOP debate from center stage. He was also a target of frequent attacks. Many analysts, though, score the match, giving it to Carly Fiorina. Welcome to Happening Now. I'm John Scott.
And I'm Patty Ann Brown in for Jenna Lee. The 11 leading contenders came out swinging in the slugfest in Simi Valley, taking on the frontrunner Donald Trump, channeling his confrontational style, fielding questions on a range of issues from foreign affairs to immigration, gay marriage and abortion, and making the case for why they should be commander-in-chief. It all happened at the Reagan Presidential Library. Reagan often cited by many in this crowded GOP field.
Donald Trump said the following about you, quote, "Look at that face. Would anyone vote for that? Can you imagine that, the face of our next president?"
I think women all over this country heard very clearly what Mr. Trump said.
I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there. That I can tell you.
I know Ben doesn't think that about me. I'm sure he was talking about one of the other guys, not me.
But the simple fact is...
Excuse me, 1 second.
No.
I didn't want to...
fact is, Donald, you cannot take...
More energy tonight. I like that. Look.
And so I do give interviews in Spanish, and here's why. And if they get their news in Spanish, I want them to hear that directly from me, not from a translator at Univision.
The issue occurred in 2003. I suggested to President Bush that he not go to war. Okay, so I just want that on the record.
So 40 years ago, I smoked marijuana, and I admit it. I'm sure that other people might have done it and may not want to say it in front of 25 million people. My mom's not happy that I just did.
I think you're going to see a big impact on autism.
Dr. Carson, you just heard his medical take.
He's an okay doctor.
Ever ready. It's very high energy, Donald.
Let's bring in Larry Sabato, the director of the Center for Politics at the University of Virginia. I read your crystal ball report this morning, Larry. You picked sort of one winner and one loser from this debate. You want to go with those names for us?
Sure, and I think there's a consensus about the winner. It turns out it's that face, and people actually do like seeing her, and that's Carly Fiorina. I think she did well enough to nearly guarantee the fact that she will be in the future debates. So she was a big, important addition to that debate and made it a lot more interesting and, in some cases, confrontational. The big loser, I would have to say, is Scott Walker. Remember, he's fallen further, John, than any other candidate. Bush is second, but Walker has fallen further than anyone. He's down at 2-3%. He needed some important, good, strong moments, and he had one or two, but it wasn't enough. He didn't connect. I think his donors are going to be very concerned.
What is the purpose at this point of a debate like this, though? Because you also say that most of the people who were tuning in were tuning in to watch their favorite candidates.
Yes. Look, I've wondered myself what early debates really do. And I think the first one that Fox had actually introduced some of the candidates to a very large audience. You know, those of us who follow politics minute by minute, we know these people, but people who are normal do not know these people. So the first one's important for that. By this time, people are choosing up sides, and so they really do tune in to cheer for their candidate, like they cheer for their favorite team. That doesn't mean people can't change candidates. So, you know, we have to remember, in the afterglow of a debate, every single quip, every single moment seems important. If we come back and talk about this next week, John, I'll bet 95% of it's forgotten.
What about Donald Trump? How did he do in terms of either buttressing or hurting his standing in the field?
He didn't do as well in this debate as he did in the Fox debate, and there was a reason. There was a large crowd at the Fox debate, and he was playing to the crowd, and they were responding. That was a tiny group last night at the Reagan Library, and you know who was in there? The Republican establishment. They were not responsive at all to Donald Trump's quips and his points. So I think he he felt that he wasn't getting the feedback that he normally does from crowds, and as a result, he was flat. Of course, I have to be honest, a 3-hour debate, I was just watching it on television, and I was flat by the end of it.
Yeah. What about, is there a performance here that you think is going to wind up driving people from this race? I mean, are there people who were so much on the bubble last night that they're not going to be able to continue their campaigns?
Chris Christie was very near the point of being eliminated. I have to say, though, he had a good, solid performance last night, and he had several of those moments. Notice in your clips, he's included. That's what a candidate wants on the day after the debate. He or she wants to be included in the summary. So maybe he saved his position for the next debate on October 28th. We'll have to see. Rand Paul, he's another one on the bubble. I don't know whether he's going to survive. He didn't have the moments that Chris Christie did, although I think all of the candidates did well in at least one or two of the questions. I mean, after all, it was a 3-hour debate. If you're not going to do well at least once or twice over 3 hours, you probably shouldn't be on the stage.
Yeah, but once again, Donald Trump got the most questions and the most time on the stage. Before we go, Larry, we want to talk about the people, well, we've been talking about the people who want to occupy the White House. In your latest crystal ball, you focus on the current president. You say President Obama's approval numbers have been remarkably steady of late, somewhere in the mid to high 40% range most of his presidency. Why is that significant?
It's significant for two reasons. One, he's in the middle 40s. Sometimes he edges up to 47, something like that. But he has had the most stable ratings overall when you look at the whole 6 years of any president since and including Harry Truman. But he's below 50. A party, in order to get a third term in the White House, I think, has to be 50 or above, somewhere in that general vicinity anyway. So he's got some work to do, or he's going to have to generate a very high turnout again among minorities. And of course, he's not going to be on the ballot. Yeah. It's tougher to do it when you're not on the ballot.
And very quickly, if Joe Biden were to run, he would have a tough sell, in your view.
Well, he's got a tough sell for lots of reasons. He would inherit all of the difficulties of the Obama terms, and I guess the pluses as well. But again, can he generate the kind of turnouts that Barack Obama did in 2008 and 2012? I kind of doubt it. We'll see. I'm sure Obama would campaign extensively for him, but he's still the underdog for the Democratic nomination, even if he runs, John.
Larry Sabato from the University of Virginia. Thanks, Larry.
Thanks, John.